Can you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey Gopi, sorry I got late. Okay, I think we can get started. Meantime, I'm opening the profile that I received. So, would it possible for you to quickly introduce yourself and touch base on your recent work? If you're only interested in the recent work, that is what preferable.
Okay.
If you can get started.
Yeah, sure. So like I was been working as a site reliability engineer with the Ford since like a past 2.5 years here. So mostly my like what as a site reliability engineer like I do here is like we do have a dedicated platform. It's a SRE platform here. So where we do provide the our services like providing them observability stack or like incident management or automation, onboarding their application onto like our infra, like creating the new infrastructure and all these. So like in as being this like in the day to day like mostly like we are involved in the SRE stuff like monitoring stuff, we build dashboards on the Grafana, we do integrate the applications for the monitoring. Like we do take the application APIs and we do configure in the Prometheus, and when the Prometheus metric was being generated, we do build the dashboards based on them, and we do set up the alerts, alerting and all this load. That would be our day to day, mostly troubleshooting those issues, like if there any drop time or threshold which we have been seen or phone so there we would be jumping in and try to troubleshooting those issues. Those are the most important thing. And as I said you, we are the platform team, our platform was been onboarded on top of the Kubernetes environment. So mostly our plots management, cluster management, these kind of stuff where we used to do. And for any kind of upgrades, upgrades means any kind of upgrades or any adding or checking the service mesh, all this stuff, like these kind of upgrades that which we do for the Kubernetes environments. And
okay. So basically workload management and troubleshooting any issues that raised.
Yeah.
Kubernetes. Okay. So have you had any experience with Terraform recently?
So yes, I do have experience with Terraform. So we have been using this Terraform in very recently, when we have been creating the multiple resources, multiple cloud resources, service resources in the AWS cloud environment. At that point of time, we have been used Terraform, and we are also doing this to automate and the deployment management of the infrastructure resources, provisioning and managing, as I said, you managing the cloud infrastructure here. So there at that point we have been using Terraform, we have been using Terraform, and as a SRE team we do here come to consulting services to the multiple application teams. So in that perspective, when we handle one application team, we have been worked on creation of a few GCP services to them, they have the already existing GCP environment out there. So when it's a data engineering team, so for creating few of the pubs up functionalities and all these, we have been done. And
okay. So
for the
resources you created via Terraform?
Yes.
Okay. Can you elaborate how does the Terraform will create PubSub in terms of what modules you utilize, right?
Okay. Let me tell you. So when we create the PubSub, right, we are all having a we will be having to define the resource blocks for the Google PubSub topics resource time. There you can specifically define the resource name and everything. this will create the PubSub topic with the name, and then create the subscription of the topics also. You need to define the another resource back for the subscription resource types. There you can define the specific resources, right? And then we also configure the additional options for the topic and the subscription as encryption, IAM policy, delivery settings and everything. And after after defining the resources in the Terraform config files, you can apply these changes. You can apply these changes in the Terraform apply, and then you can create the PubSub resources. When you apply this Terraform, when you do this Terraform apply, the new PubSub resource will be generated.
Okay, so it does touch base on the points, but just to help me get to the speed, right? So is it something a Terraform project that is already available? You worked on adding this?
So
Sai, before you answer that question, right? So you said you would put resource blocks for topic and subscriptions. So how would you create multiple topics and multiple subscriptions?
So okay. So to create this the multiple topics and the subscription, you can define them I can define these multiple resources, right? So for that, what you can do is you can just
where would you define them? Where would you define the input?
So you're asking. I didn't.
I mean, how do you pass your input to the module?
So in in the variable topic names and the type, and at the default you will specify the what type you want, and the resources and the count. You will be giving the what's the resource you want. In that you need to mention our PubSub topic and all those.
Right, but you're saying that I need to hard code it
like variables.tf, variables.tf file.
Okay, so how would you define multiple topics and
so
subscriptions
for
each
example,
topic?
so okay. If we go in that way, we need to define our variable and the topic name, and we need to give the type and list type. If it's a string, we need to list strings, and we need to give our defaults topic one, what are the topics we are defining, and after that we need to create a resource. For example, if the one topic is resource is Google PubSub is in one topic, and we need to give the count length of we need to define in the count how many we need to generate. You need to give count is length length of variables and our topic name, and you need to again define our name which is our variables and the topic names also. When we define a variable called topic name here, which is a list of strings, we contain the names of all the three topics. It may be one service of PubSub and other service and all. So there we would be passing our parameters, right? So that's how our parameters is we will.
But name is fine, but how do you define configuration for each topic? If you define count and you give a list and you use length to determine how many times the resource block need to
there will be a separate resource for each and every topic where I will be defining the name and all the configurations.
So you would create 10 different variable blocks for 10 different attributes?
10 different resources, no. So for every topic there will be for example in a variable particular resources and inside the resources.
So name attribute, you would have a variable and you would pass all the names to the name variable, and then any other configuration you would create another variable where you would pass that configuration, right? So similarly you would create 10 different variables for 10 different attributes that resource block has.
Yeah, like this is how currently we are working on the resource blocks. Like we are defining the names and we are defining the topics and we are going with the encryption policies. Uh, that's how we are doing.
Okay.
We have been creating for each individual. We are creating the variable names.
Okay.
So that the particular resource will be contained in that only particular field.
Okay. Okay, that's how you're doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Venkat, sorry. You can go ahead.
Sorry, no worries. Yeah. So what I was trying to understand is the Terraform project, right? Is it like an existing project you worked on, or you created a new project from the scratch in your recent?
Like so, I can say like in few projects like I have been done from the scratch. But what?
In your recent project.
So in recent project, I can tell you like I'm working on existing project only when it's already there when I joined the team.
Okay. But if you are asked to set up a new project, right?
Yeah.
So you know how to set up a new Terraform project?
For sure. Yeah, like I can do that. First, for sure, like I will set up the new Terraform project at the first step. Like while we going to do it, like we have to install all our Terraform and Terraform, and we need to create the cloud directories for our projects, and then like we will start working on developing a new project on Terraform.
Right. I think how our famous question usually we like to get understanding. How would you make sure Terraform authenticates with your cloud provider, right? Respective cloud providers.
Okay.
So what is the process involved in there?
So, okay. So to check the total authentication, right? Like we need to follow.
Let's talk about GCP.
Okay.
You said you worked on GCP, right?
Yeah.
So let's put our context in terms of GCP.
Okay. So so if you want to set up a new project, GCP using the Terraform, right? That's what with the GCP
Yes.
Terraform encryption. Okay. So like to define this Terraform application with GCP, like Terraform, like we need to like map the Terraform uses the few groups like a service key files to authenticate the GCP. So like you can create this service account and generate the key using the Google console or Google console, and then set the Google application credential environment in our variables to point to the key. To point to the key in our Google application Google application, and the application and our variables like the key. We need to configure our key in our application only, like Google application credentials to our environment variable file also, like where we need to where we can configure our GCP providers in our data in our Terraform configuration files. So in the Terraform configuration files, like I can basically give my provider as a Google Cloud. So then I can define this project and everything.
What do you need to do if you don't want to generate the JSON key?
Okay. So like if so currently like we are doing with like JSON, and like let me think, like if you don't want the JSON key.
Let's talk about the JSON for a while. What drawbacks do you think that using JSON key on a service account has?
Okay. Like I didn't get you. Can you please repeat? Like what are the defects that we see by using?
In terms of security, what drawbacks do you see by using a JSON key on a service account?
Okay. Um, so first thing, like we have to expose this JSON key. So like there is a gap. So there is a gap possibility, like possible reality of management and everything. If the file contains a sensitive information and like need to keep it secure, right? So then we do not have to expose this key as well. So if we accidentally expose this key, like anyone with this access to the can disappear. The sources can also get the things. And then like when we defining the JSON key, right, so it is associated with the single project itself. It is associated with single, so it might be a chance. And like mostly I can tell you like sometimes the complexity, like managing multiple JSON key files for the multiple service accounts can be a complex thing. And
okay, so
even
with all this in mind, how would you ensure that you authenticate without a JSON key?
So like okay, for example, like okay, if you don't want to generate a JSON key for the authentication, like okay, we can do it like with the server authentication. Like first we need to create some GC instance. For like first we need to create a new GC instance with the requirement of GCP permissions and the roles. Like this can be done using the Google console, and after that we can install the Terraform on a GC instance. So once the instance is created, like we need to we can install this Terraform on the instance also, like using these package managers and downloading the binaries from the website.
Everybody to SSH into that instance and run Terraform code from there.
I didn't get you. Like
if you have 10 members in your team, and
we should use the application default configurations, and with the help of the application default configurations only, we can basically do the credentials of the currently running applications, like rather than creating the separate fields, right? So then we can use this environment variables like instead of using this key files.
No, I mean what I meant to ask is, users won't have admin level access on resources, right? For example, if you want to create a service account,
okay,
and that permission is not given to your entire team, right?
Okay.
So that role will be assigned to something else which will have the permission, right? So how would users generating application default credentials be able to create the service accounts? Because they don't have that role, right?
Okay. Okay. So you're asking like how these accounts will be managed with the IAM user rights?
I meant to ask, what do we need to do for us to be able to not use JSON key to create resources? Think of it this way: you have 10 members in a team,
okay,
who needs to test their own changes individually in several different projects, right? 10 team members, each one of them have a project to play with. Everybody will be making changes and testing their things. So how would you ensure that they don't use JSON key but still do what they wanted to do?
So like I think we can create the service account in GCP console and grant it access like IAM role permissions to a proper use case. Maybe for that.
That's what I said. That's what I said before.
Okay.
Like, IAM permissions won't be given to each individual users.
Okay. So okay. I think that like currently we are okay.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. If you don't know, you can say it. You don't know. That's fine. Okay. Gopi, do you have any other follow-up questions on the topic?
No.
So let's quickly touch base if you have any scripting background, right? Saith, have you worked on any of the scripting languages?
Actually, shell scripting and Bash, and a little bit of Python, but Python is very less use case.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about these Groovy scripts?
Yeah, Groovy scripts I have been used.
For what purpose?
So, like in few shared libraries, for creating the few Jenkins shared libraries, and there at that point, used the Groovy scripting, and for yeah, just that's the major side of thing. Like I have been used the Groovy script.
Okay, so you're comfortable in writing new functions inside Jenkins scripting and all?
Yeah. Yes.
And usually your Jenkins will have some integrations, right? So, what kind of plugins like you used, right? Just to give me an idea, like you had that knowledge, right?
Okay.
What kind of scripting utilities you have used earlier for the Jenkins?
Okay. So, like in Jenkins, the multiple mostly the plugins which I can tell you used is Git plugin we have been used. There's this plugin which helped us to integrate the Git and allowing the Jenkins to pull the code, and build pipeline plugins also we have been used. And for the Artifactory kind of plugin, I used the Maven plugin also, which allows Jenkins to build and deploy this Java applications using the Maven tool. And I have been using the Docker plugin also. This plugin which helps to build and deploy the Docker images provided in a streamlined way, to manage the deploy the containerized application. And even I have been even used the AWS EC2 plugin also, that allows Jenkins to provision and manage the Amazon Elastic Computer EC2 instances.
Okay. I have an interesting question around these plugins.
Yeah.
What if you want to use Git without a plugin?
So without a plugin,
I don't want to install a plugin on Jenkins,
okay,
but I still want to run Git commands.
Okay, in that so in that case, if you want to use Jenkins without, we can directly install the Git on the Jenkins server itself and configure that with the Git, our Git credentials. And
what Jenkins environment have you used? Have you used the Jenkins installation on virtual machines?
We in the Fort personally, we do have our Jenkins or totally on the PCF before, in Cloud Foundry, and so we have been continuously working on that itself. There only in a PCF model, in when we as I said we consult multiple teams in one team, they are on the VMs also. They are on the VMs also there, they have been VMs they have been VMs, and everything was been configured there in virtual machines.
Okay, so just a single instance? It's not scalable. How would you manage the load of, let's say you run 100 builds?
So it was been included with adjusting the CPU and memory allocations also, ensuring the virtual machine has sufficient space and optimizing network settings to minimize and maximize the latency and the throughputs and everything. Overall, I said we do provide the resource allocations also, ensures that Jenkins instance has a sufficient CPU and memory, as I said and we do add the load balancing approach also, we can use a load balancer at that point to distribute the workloads across the multiple Jenkins instances. Okay, this can setting multiple Jenkins instances and configuring the load balance to route the traffic. And we can schedule some job schedulings also, you can use some job scheduling to
let's stop there for a second. You said load balancing?
Yeah.
How would that actually work?
for this specific instance, or
let's say I have a Jenkins instance, right?
okay.
And I have 10 users who triggered 100 builds. So that instance is fine with this load, but tomorrow, if each user runs 100 builds, that would be 1,000 builds altogether, right, for 10 users in a team. So how would your instance scale?
Okay. Okay. Like if the workloads on the Jenkins instance is expected to increase significantly, like as I said, yeah, as you said, like 100 builds per day, or like for example, for example, if each user in a team,
you will allocate CPU and memory ahead of time, right? So how would you ensure that the instance that you have will scale with load dynamically?
Okay. So how it will automatically scale dynamically, right?
Right, without our interruption.
We can use the auto scaling groups. Like you can create auto scaling group in a cloud in our GCP environment, like that can automatically add or remove the instances in changes of the workloads, and like we can implement a monitoring system like
auto scaling group can create a virtual machine and add it to the group, but how would your Jenkins know how to use that instance automatically?
Okay. So, like at that.
Anyway, that's fine. Just curious to know, because you said that load balancer and all that, but I think we deviated a bit. So what we wanted to ask is scripting experience that you have.
Yeah, I mean, just to get some idea, right? You have that knowledge or not, so that is the only process. So it's not about. So, okay. I think you have not worked much on the Python. It's fine.
But like if there is a chance of doing it, for sure, like we'll get to speed once start the project. That's for sure.
Okay, but just you understand Python,
yeah.
Right? Okay, so how do you usually? So you mentioned something about Artifactory, right?
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah.
So what is an Artifactory?
So like artifact is something like we like builds okay, in generally like is a binary like a repository manager, like which used to store and manage the distributed artifacts such as like our code libraries, our software components and everything, which we like mostly use in our workflows.
Okay, so say for suppose those artifactories are your organization level, not at the Google level or the internet level, right?
Yeah.
So, and I have a package that is there in one of my Artifactory, right? So how would I install that package into my Python environment, right? So how can I make sure my Python gets the information from my local Artifactory instead of a Google Artifactory, right?
Okay.
You understand the question?
No, like I was thinking, so you're asking like how your Artifactory get connected with...
yeah, when you want to download some custom packages, right, into my Python environment.
Okay.
So how would I get that information?
So for that, like I can use like a PHP command, like where we can get the particular path of particular path of that. Like
so first of all, how would you install external packages into a Python environment, right? How would I get a reference to external packages into a Python environment?
Okay. Like you're asking from where do we get these references, or like how we directly instance.
So
So
you have a local Python environment and you want to get the
okay,
package.
so like pip install package names, like what package we need to install, like a package manager.
So now
From there.
pip install, right?
Yeah.
So if I want to configure my pip install to a custom repository, how would I do that?
So like for that, for configuring the pip to use the local artifact, like we need like to do this, like we need to create a file called pip config in the pip directory, and we need to add the artifact URLs, all artifact URLs. And our artifact URL and the API, and from the Python, like trusted host Python. From there, like we need to replace our artifact URL with our URL of our local artifact that contains the package and the repository name, like which we have, and we need to verify the pip also, like using the correct repository by running it, like for example pip config list or something. And like so that once it is all done, like then we need to like install the packages using the pip by run pip I mean like pip install
That's
package
fine.
and
I think I
everything.
was expecting a specific parameter, but I think high level I'm fine. Gopi, anything you'd like to touch base around Python or any other things? Otherwise, I think I'm good from my end.
How do you create a Python package?
Like to create a Python package, as I said you, we need to like directly install like choose the like what kind of package that we required, and we need to organize the package structure. And
When you say what kind of package, what exactly is it?
like we need to select a unique name for our package, right? It is recommended to use the name that is descriptive of our package purpose and allow in the Python naming conventions. Like for example, if I need to use the cap framework is one of, let's think it is one of the package name that which I need to create. So
Fine. Where do we define it?
so after the creating package, like we need to add, we add it on setup, and we check the dependencies, and we will we will be defining there, right? So we add our package files, and first we create the package files, and in that like we do define everything like init.py.
When you mean package files, what are they?
Like within the package directory, like we created files, multiple files, like name like .py files. Like this file is required to mark the directories as a packages, and like which can contain initialization code for our package, our package.
Okay. Okay, let's say you have those files, and how do you create a package?
So you're asking with these files, how do you create a package, right?
Yeah, let's say you're creating an application, right?
Okay.
You have a directory structure, bunch of Python files. So explain.
So let's think like if I am creating a package called my package, the directory structure may look like first like my package, and after that we will be giving our init.py file or our modules, how many modules, like two modules, module 1.py or module 2.py, and after that we do again rewrite the sub packaging in it, like sub packages. In sub packages also we do replicate the init.py and sub modules in it. It like
let me when I meant package, I meant that something you would publish to an external repository.
Okay.
Your application, basically, how would someone install your application? So that's the package I'm talking about. So how do you create that package and publish to a custom repository?
Okay. So in that case, we would be first of all, like we create the package, like and adding that package metadata, like we like for example, we create a package. So as I said you, like we create our Python packages or in a package formats, that where our all the application code and any required dependencies are, and we need to add our package metadata, like creating the metadata files for this specific package, like such as like package description, version numbers and dependencies. And after that we will build the package, like we will build the package, like
How would you build it?
like package manager tools, for like a build tools or a package manager to build this total package in our desired form. For example, if you are using the Python, we can use the setup tools there, like to create the distributed packages. Like if you are using any Linux based systems, like you can use the dpkg or rpm to create the debian or rpm package respectively, and
Right.
all these.
What command would you run to create a package?
So for I said for RPM package for
Not
Debian.
RPM. I'm talking specifically about the Python package. RPM is the distribution, right?
Yeah.
Linux distribution. So that's not what I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm not asking about dpkg, which is an Ubuntu distribution. I am specifically talking about the pip package.
So that's all. Like we can directly create, like using in a setup tools, like we do like Python setup.py, and we will be distinguishing our package names. And
yeah, you already said that, but how do we create it?
Okay, like you when that's like MKD, like.
Have you created a package before?
So yes, but not much more. Like I mostly did on the setup tools, like with this only, like
yeah, I mean that's what I'm asking.
like pip install setup. So like if you don't have a setup tools installed, like we will be installing the setup tools, and like after that we create the setup.py's PY file.
I mean, the question is simple. Have you created recently? Yes,
No,
sir.
not very recently.
Okay, that's fine. That is good enough. Right? So we're not expecting much. Okay. Anything else, Gopi? If you would like to add any other questions, yeah, go ahead.
Shell scripting. I'm curious to ask you questions because he looks confident on that one. Okay. Okay. What's the difference between single ampersand and double ampersand?
The single ampersand and double ampersand. The single ampersand, for example, control operators, we use it as single ampersand. Like used to run the single command in the background. Like when the command is followed by a single ampersand in the shell script, like it immediately executes the command and returns to the command prompt. Like when you use a double ampersand, like it is used to run the command only if the previous command succeeded or not. Like when the command is followed by the like a double ampersand, like the shell executes the command only if the previous command was successful. That's
you sure?
Yeah, that I was sure.
100%.
200%.
Are you sure that double ampersand is used that way?
Yeah, double ampersand is for sure like used to run the command only if the previous command got succeeded. If the previous command was not succeeded, it can't be get run. For example, if you give one command, for example, to create a package, like for example mkdir, and you need to for example, if you list a command and you give the double ampersand and you give the another command to sort that particular file in the command, like we need to we can give it same thing, like command one, like we need to give like that command and double ampersand, and like you can give that and the second command. For example, Yeah, that I can. That's for sure. For example, git fetch, double ampersand, and git merge from origin to the main. So, like this is the example. Like I can tell you. So at this point, like this will fetch the latest changes from our remote git repository, and only it fetch succeeded only. Like it will merge the changes into our local branches.
I don't have any questions.
Hey, Sai Teja, you have any questions to us?
Actually, yeah, for which team, like what kind of project, like you are interviewing me for, or like and everything, that kind of stuff. I just want to know about, because I worked previously with Equifax.
Yeah, I saw in profile. Actually, that was one of my questions.
Yeah.
So which group you worked with?
So I worked under Charanjit before.
What is Charanjit team is doing?
At that point of time, like it's a new SRE team. So I worked with the project like CAP framework is one of the project I worked with Equifax. He's my reporting manager. I was being just like a very it's a 3 to 4 months project, like which they didn't extend again. Like that one project I used to work on, and I guess in the last month of my contract, they changed me to another team. I think, and her name is like Vainika. Is another teammate like who with her I worked on.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah. So we are working for a different group, not for the specific group. We are actually working on the Vertex AI platform, the new ML platform, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's a completely new one. It was not there earlier in the Equifax, so probably you may not have heard it.
Actually, a few months back, even I got a chance of helping with one of your count team. Like I guess Equifax has acquired the count, right?
So that's fine. See, basically to give a heads up, right? So this is a preliminary round. There is another round that you will have with clients. Okay.
Okay.
So those are the things. If based on our feedback, there will be another one.
Okay.
So that is when you will get to know what kind of activity you will be working on.
Okay.
Will that help?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, because we may not be able to discuss much details now. Sorry for that.
No, it's okay. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sai Teja.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time. Okay.
Cool.
You
Thank
will
you.
hear back from the vendor, right?
Yeah.
You will
Sure.
hear back for that.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.